Dan, I just want to seriously push back on the both sidesism. I did not hate Barack Obama. I liked Bill Clinton. I mean, obviously, he did a lot of things I agree with in coordination with that aforementioned Speaker of the House. There is something wrong. And I don't see anybody in Democratic leadership acknowledging the truth of it. It's like you're not an honest broker if you say it's both sidesism. You're allowed to say things about Donald Trump that would be considered completely unacceptable for my.
Stacey,
yeah.
I'm going to ask. Thank you for that. I'm going to ask you one question.
Yes.
And then I'm going to turn you over to Dan and then Sean. Where was Barack Obama born?
In America.
Thank you. No further questions. Dan.
Yeah, I mean, like Stacey, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming on. I'm surprised we didn't flag this, that today is the 10th anniversary of the famous coming down of the escalator, and how much the country and the world has changed as a result of that.
That's because we're forward looking. That's
right. That's right. Thank you. I think are just not going to agree. I think what Barack Obama went through, starting with the birther movement, and the way that he was treated, go back to the escalator in that speech, right? I mean, you could argue that what Trump said needed to be said to shake the situation up, but it was a pretty confrontational thing, right? Part of his stump speeches that year were the Democrats hate America, right? Maybe some do, but most do not, right? I don't think January 6th was, and forget the act of violence, saying that the election was stolen and all this stuff, like both sides are guilty of saying awful things. I agree with you. Donald Trump in totality over 10 years has taken more incoming than anybody has taken in my lifetime, right? Bill Clinton took a lot. It was a different form. Barack Obama took it. George W. Bush being called, he was the original Hitler. That's what Democrats said in 05 and 06, that he was terrible. So it's unfortunate where things are going. But I will say Trump has taken more than anyone that I've known, but the other side has given it pretty darn good. And he has been the chief giver of a lot of stuff about Democrats.
Sean.
Yeah, I don't want to go down a huge rabbit hole on this, but I'll just say, this is something that didn't just happen with Trump. Conservatives have felt ostracized and silenced and censored for decades. I remember going back to, in the early 90s in college campus, like the idea of like what we did at my school to a graduation speaker because they didn't hew the liberal orthodoxy, literally canceled the graduation speaker because they didn't agree with a position that this individual had. Conservatives have been dealing with this for decades on end. The left has controlled academia, big government, the media, and suddenly once we start feeling a little buoyed because Donald Trump has led the way and showed us how to fight, everybody talks about like, well, now both sides. Like the reality is that the left led the way on this effort. And they go back to how things were handled with Bork. They sort of love to lead the way and then go, oh, but you guys said this too. And when you have all the advantages that they do, it's kind of funny because the retort is always like, well, now you've got Fox. It's like, so let me get this straight. We suffered for decades, and now your answer is we have one station.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.